No, I hate the way it does that, right? It's got the little got it, it's recording, and now you have to do that extra step, and that's just annoying. But anyway, here we are. Welcome to this evening's class. You might be watching this in the morning. I don't know. It's going to be pretty chilled, so see how you go. Maybe nice to do over the weekend if you haven't caught it here with us now. So we're on our second week or fourth week, but second week where we're exploring a little bit more about purpose. So I hope last week you got to have a little bit of a feel for what's emerging for you new in terms of feeling like you have a purpose, perhaps giving yourself a purpose. You know, as COVID hits and life is really changing and we're not doing the same things necessarily day in, day out that we used to. I don't think either of you are terribly affected for not going into work and things, but there are a lot of people that routine and that, you know, that constant has changed a lot. And so, or you're locked in and maybe, you know, some people don't have work anymore or it's changed a lot. So we need to redefine what that is for us, what our role is, yes, maybe in work, but in also the other little ways that we are nourished and that give us our life a sense of purpose. So I'm hoping that you've been able to, oh, the dog's finished his bone and he really wants to come in. I'm going to go and get it. So I hope that you've been able to have a look at that. But I would also like us to look at, come on, Jessie, to begin to look a little bit more at our daily routines. So if you have been affected in some way, that there's been a big lifestyle change, and I know for some of you there is a big lifestyle change, right? And how that might, you know, what that purpose is for you now when there's been big shifts in your life as to what is the driving force to get you out of bed, and what are the daily rhythms and routines and habits that can really insert a little bit of purpose. So for me, one of the things is, you know, walking my dog, for example. It's a thing that you think, I've got to get out of bed, I've got to walk the dog before I'm going to work. And then you're thinking maybe it's a pain in the ass, and then you're out and it's like such a beautiful experience to watch the sunrise or to see, you know, just to feel the fresh air and to invigorate yourself. And so it gives you your day a different sense already, even if they're just small things that are beginning to give you a different sense of your day and a different reason to be doing. So this week, I'd like you to begin to look a little bit more at, yes, your little daily habits that inspire you and keep you straight and keep you steady and keep you inspired and, of course, healthy. And those lifestyle changes that you might like to begin to initiate, excuse me, particularly at these crisis times in our life. So there's a lot of crises beginning to go on in all different directions. And so picking your cause, picking the thing that that's closest to your heart, that means the most to you or feels the most importance to you, and begin to channel some decision making and some changes in lifestyle that maybe help you feel inspired and part of the great change that's going on, part of the great awakening. That might be that you decide to take up meditation, for example, because then you're beginning to align yourself more fully within, so you can get more clarity. And just that in itself, because it's important we start to wake up. This is really supposed to be the part of the up-leveling of humanity, is the awakening of our soul, of our spirit, to see beyond this world of illusion and the masculine world that is really creating chaos and destruction. So there might be something as simple as meditation or you know, you're going to change. For me, that was a dietary change and a lot more plant-based eating. I mean, I'm already veggie, but, you know, more plant-based. And, you know, plastic-free living was another big thing that I decided to change, because the world is not in a great healthy place. So individually, what we can do is maybe make some choices of something that means something to you, and begin then looking at your bills and deciding something there, or making those changes, because actually I've done it and it makes you feel better. Just some underlining experience of being, I feel calmer, more peaceful, more at peace about my footprint in this planet. You know, so these things may not think, oh, this is a big deal, but once you start implementing change in your life that you know can be impactful for the environment, for other people around you that you love, for the sea, for the whatever it is, for the trees, for the birds, whatever sings to you, whatever speaks to you, then look at it in a way like, well, what can I do here, and what changes can I make that align me more with that? And then it's such a small ripple effect, but then this is where we're leading into the more peaceful aspect of how passion and purpose lead us to peace. So one of the things that purpose can give us is a great sense of clarity and direction. And it tends to help us focus. Very hard to do when you're fatigued and tired, as I am today. But if we've got a lot going on, whether that's physically with work and this and that, or just a lot going on because there's a lot of mental clutter being fed out at us. So a lot of stress and fear feeding and stuff like that. So you can't think clear when that's happening. So without further ado, we're going to come into our first posture, which is to help really clear and reset and relax where we are. I don't know how I'm going to do this really with the camera. Maybe I don't need it quite so, yeah. So we're going to start with this setup. If you don't have all of this stuff, it's okay. You can just make something up, like rolling a blanket or getting a couple of cushions or firm pillow. You could use just 2 blocks under your back if you wanted to, rather than the bolster as well. So, you know, we've done that. It's actually that setup where you put your shoulder blades on there and the base of your skull on there. But if you've got all the equipment, which I know some of you do, then we're going to place our bolster perhaps stacked up on some blocks so we don't have too much lordosis in the lower back. I've got a little something just to raise my head a little bit more than my heart. I've got a couple of little cushions. They can be, you know, pillows or even a rolled blanket or a couple of extra blocks if you have them. And they're going to be placed on either side of my legs. So when I bring the soles of my feet together and lay down, let my knees fall out, the little pillows or whatever you've got going there for yourself is supporting the legs so we can really relax and open. You could also have a little something under your buttocks if the height of the bolster is still too much for your lower back. So please add anything extra that you feel you need. And just slowly begin to really come on down, nestle in. Just check your alignment. Make any little last minute adjustments. And then once you feel pretty sweet, pretty settled, then just try and let go of the wriggling, let go of the movement, the adjusting. Of course, if it needs to be done, it's okay. But if there's just this constant little wriggling around, see if you can just let it go. See what relaxes, what can relax, and then see what remains an agitation and adjust that rather than just constantly adjusting little bits and pieces. And then as you're ready, as you find yourself settled and relaxing into the posture, you can begin to deepen the breath, drawing the breath in from the nose, seeing if you can draw it all the way down into the belly, and slowly releasing perhaps 2 or 3 rounds through the mouth. Just begin to allow everything to soften and relax over the support that is beneath it. Keep with the rhythm of your breath, and you might like to keep for a while this experience of just gently deepening the inhalation. Exploring and expanding through the heart center, through the ribs, and maybe down into the belly. And the exhalation, just to relax the shoulders, to release the arms, release the legs. And really allow your awareness to drop into the body experience, into the somatic experience. As you begin to rest in a little more deep, just really tuning into the features of your face and releasing any tension that you find there. Feeling that the forehead is completely smooth, ironed out of any worry, any concerns. See if you can actually release any tension that you might feel in your temples. See if you can relax the eyeballs themselves back into the socket. And as you do that, try and release any tension in and around the eyes. Let the jaw go. See if you can just create a little bit more space in the joint there. So the teeth might just gently move apart a little bit. So no gripping of the top and bottom teeth. Let them sit slightly apart. Just be careful not to allow the seal of the lips to release. We want the lips to remain sealed, but not pouting, not tight. Just a little Buddha smile on the lips. Feeling the flesh of the cheeks begin to release, relax. Can you imagine being able to relax your chin? and the tongue. Let the tongue just sit back into the cavity of the mouth, sitting behind front bottom teeth and dropping back a little into the mouth. Try and rest the tongue from the very tip and feel the muscle go all the way to the back of the throat, relaxing the whole muscle. Releasing through the nostrils. You might even like to flare the nostrils for a moment and just see if you can create a little bit more space in the inner channel. And then just imagine that as you begin to take an inhalation, that the inhale can enter through the forehead, through the third eye, so the eyebrow center. Breathe into the brain, breathe into the skull. Create space, create a sense of freshness, like opening your window in the beautiful spring days they're having, and letting all that fresh air in. As you exhale, you might like to blow out any stagnation, any over busyness or irritation, and just let it out in any natural way, through the ears, through the forehead, through the crown, any way it feels natural for it to expand. Or perhaps it feels like it simply dissolves. And after clearing the mind, I invite you to bring your attention now back or to the heart space. And imagine you can breathe directly into the sternum and allow the breath to enter into the heart center, that energetic heart center, anahata. As the breath enters, it fleshes out, it expands this beautiful center. Any tightness or holding back or pain or resistance, you can just gently release it or simply acknowledge it if it's too deep or stubborn at the moment to be released. It's okay. We just let it know that it's been seen, and we continue to breathe a sense of love, compassion, freshness, newness, possibility into your heart. And then from here, we're going to continue taking an inhale in through the heart center. And imagine that the pathway of the breath comes in from the heart center and travels down the back of the throat and up to the third eye. And as you exhale, it's going to release out of the third eye. I think we did this one last week. And as it exits through the third eye, it does the full circle and lands back into the heart center as we inhale. We draw the breath, the energy in through the heart, through the back of the throat, into the skull and the third eye. As we exhale, it releases through the third eye. Any stagnation, any negativity is just released out to the ether, and just the good vibe, just the good energy coming back in a full loop, in a full mandala to the heart. Same could be said to any heartache, any negativity that may be associated with the heart energy. Perhaps you can imagine that it just sprays out from the back of the heart as the more positive, light and loving energy from the heart space is looped back into the skull and into the third eye. And we continue just a few more rounds of this cleansing and connecting mandala breath. Anahata, Ajna, coming together, feeding each other. Intuition really from these two centers, third center as well in the Atman, but we're just exploring these top two this evening. Whenever you're ready, you can simply let go of the visualization or the experience, the control. Just taking a moment to notice how you feel. You might like to, on an exhale, just let the head roll down to one side. And then on the inhale, back to the center, and that next exhale to roll down to the other side. And then we inhale back to the center. We can bring our hands in beside either side of the bolster or your support and push up. And as we push up, we're going to just simply cross the legs. And if you need to change your position so you can see more clearly, that's okay. We don't really need that set up anymore. So you can just pop that to the side. Bringing your hands to your knees. Taking an inhale, and as you exhale, just coiling down, just dropping in, dropping the head into the chin, rounding through the spine, relaxing the elbows, letting them drop down towards the thighs or the hip, the floor. And on an inhale, begin to just grow up through the spine, lengthening and re-arising. And again, exhale, dropping the chin in and just slowly coiling down, letting the head become heavier and letting the arms, the elbows become heavier. And then on that inhalation, we ride back up the spine, lengthening, growing, awakening. And last one, exhale. Use the inhalation to ride back up again. And as you find the peak of your pose there, just use the exhalation to step or walk your hands forward. Just a little bit. You might need some little adjusting, some little rocking from side to side as the buttocks and hips just readjust to this new posture. Taking a couple of quiet breaths there as you breathe deep down into your hips, deep down into your buttocks. Lengthening all the time through the spine, lengthening up and away. Maybe the exhalation allows you to creep down a little bit, to slide a little bit more forward, but listen to the wisdom of the back. Any little moving, any little wriggling, particularly perhaps your neck, your shoulders, but this will also affect the lower back and sacrum area. So just see if that's helpful for releasing anything that isn't working for you or isn't completely comfortable for you or simply needs attention. And then as you're ready, use the inhalation to begin to walk the hands back. The exhale to land, to sit again in the experience of your own body, transforming through practice. And then bringing that back leg to the front, so that back shin or the cross on the legs is changed. And as you're ready, just allowing the rising of the spine up, the breath up through the center line. And as we exhale, just leaning a little forward, bringing the hands to the floor, feeling into the hips, feeling into the buttocks. If you need to walk it out, wriggle it out, move it out, breathe it out, please do. Hello. And just breathing here. Trying to release that deeply held tension that we find in the buttocks, we find in the hips. Place where we might be sitting on things, ignoring things. The hips take us forward and we're not having a lot of forward action in life at the moment. Not for a lot of people. So releasing any tension things down there. And then we can slowly rise back up on the inhale. Hands just sit again on the knees and we feel into the alignment here. So part of our purpose experience is about alignment, aligning ourselves to who we are, to who we're becoming, to what we want from life, to how we want to treat life, to how we want to treat others, to how we want to treat nature around us, our environment. So we can start this alignment, and I know many of you are well on the path of this, but that we can find it first in the body. It doesn't mean our alignment needs to be perfect in order for us to align our lives. Not at all. But to have that sensitivity and to have that awareness is really the building blocks of aligning your life and pointing the arrow in the direction at which you now want to point it. So we're going to take our 2 blocks. Actually, if you have 2 blocks, if you don't, you can use the bolster. If you don't have a bolster, you can use a couple of cushions. So once you see where we're going, just please use what feels right for you. I'm going to stack them one on top of the other with the long waist, right? And then we're simply going to come and sit on the blocks with the feet on either side. We feel our sit bones just pressing into the blocks, and that subgluteal crease of our cute little butt is just aligned with the sides of the block, the front side of the block. We're going to do some breathing. I think we did this last week, did we? The Kalapati breath, where we are pumping our stomach. So what we do is we're going to take a nice deep inhale, and as we exhale, we really pump the belly. pushing the breath firmly out. I can't talk and do so. So really it's initiated from that lower part of the belly. And you do it as fast or as slow as you like. We'll do 2 or 3 rounds, depending on how well you feel with it. But this is really, it's called, the English term is called shiny skull breath. Shining skull breath. So it's like buffing up the inside of your skull and really can create some beautiful clarity. And it's cleaning out old stagnating energy and in the body. So it's a real good purifier. I like to have this posture for this pose much more than cross-legged, because you really need this beautiful erect spine, access to the belly without any anything holding you back. Like sometimes the thighs grip and stuff like that cross-leg. So let's just get this nice, clear, clean posture to do our Kalabhati. And you could bring your index finger and thumb together and place the other 3 fingers quite firmly, quite rigid, and then they place up along the thigh. Palms are face up in this particular mudra, and the fingers are together. So this is quite direct, not loose fingers. Strong. Can you bring them together, Heather? Together. So there's no gaps. There's no gaps. Oh, Robin, you thought that we were at 6:30 again? Oh my goodness. Like together. Oh, like together. No gap. No gap. Beautiful. Yeah. And now, like this. Perfecto. Are you giving me the finger? Hi, Robin. You're a half an hour late again. But that's okay. You've just missed out on some yummy bits. We're just coming into breathing, so please, yeah, half an hour late, so that's okay. Just make yourself at home and join us best you can. Yeah. I can't hear you. It's okay. Just join us if you want to, or watch it later. Okay. Bye. Sorry. It's 6 o'clock. I'll need to send her reminders. Okay. So take a deep breath in, and as you're ready, just take as many as feels right. At the end, take a deep inhale and a slow exhale out. Let the body recover, let the energy recover. It might get a little woo, right? So just let everything settle a little bit. And whenever you're ready, we'll take off again. So just in your own timing. Please don't do it any longer than feels right for you. At the end, deep inhale. And a slow exhale through the mouth. Just let the energy settle again. And we can either let it go or take a third round. Thumbs up or thumbs down. Thumb up, third round then. In your own time, please finish when you're ready, because after round, it can get more challenging, more fatigue. So in your own time. Letting the energy settle wherever you are. Feeling into the experience of the practice. How it affects the body, and also how it, of course, affects the mind. You might like to just complete the pranayama aspect by breathing deeply, or do a little bit more perhaps. Breathing deeply into the abdomen and just letting the inhalation stretch out any efforting in the muscles of the belly. And the exhalation just to release the tension out of the body, out of the belly. We don't want to create belly tension. We've got enough of that going on. Yeah, through the mouth on the exhale. Maybe we do 3 of those. You can feel nice and grounded again. And feeling that energy a little more in the body, a little more even. And from there, as you're ready, we're just going to take the blocks out from beneath us and swing our feet out to the right. If you have trouble sitting here and you have a little cushion or a blanket, you could also place that under that. Jess, come out the way, mate, so people can see what's going on. Under that left hip. Because if there's a real imbalance and it's hard to be here easily, then that support is just beautiful. Okay, Jessie? Mm-hmm. Find the length in your spine through your inhalation, right and up from the tail to the crown. And as you exhale, we're just going to turn to the left. That right hand coming onto the left thigh, that left hand coming just behind us, behind the hip. We're going to take an inhale, and as we do, we move the head to the front shoulder. And as we exhale, we take it back to the shoulder behind us. See how that might help us rotate a little more deeply. And then inhale, turning to face the front shoulder. And exhale, turning to face the back shoulder. So in a way, we begin to release neck tension as well as perhaps learn to deepen. Inhale, forward again. And exhale, turning back. And see if you can just migrate a little further behind you, that rotation coming from the belly button, the navel area. Take one breath there. Well, now take a couple of breaths there and just, you might even like to tuck the chin in ever so slightly so you can begin to release any of that neck, shoulder tension in the right side. You could also try just pulling your head back as if your ear is going to come towards the back of the shoulder there. And that will also change the stretch experience in the neck and the shoulder. Keep pulling that right shoulder a little bit further away from you, away from the ear. One more breath now. And then exhale, really slowly release and come back to the center. You're going to grab hold of our right ankle with our hands and bring it over to the left side. If that's unavailable, you could just bring it really here, or you could straighten this leg out in front so it's more available to you. Get yourself comfortable. See if both sit bones can attach themselves to the earth, to the ground. Yeah, I'm finding this is not useful, but depends on your body. We're going to hug that left arm around the right knee and begin to lengthen up as we inhale right up through the spine. That right hand is just going to sit behind us as it was on the other side, or, you know, with the other hand. Turn to look over your right shoulder. And then as you're ready, take the inhale and once again, turn to look to the front left shoulder. And as you exhale, take it back across behind you. See if you can just slightly deepen the twist. And then inhale, turning once again. Exhale to bring it back. We're doing 3 rounds each of these, so I think we have one more. And as you exhale, beginning to hold there and seeing if you can just find the rotation a little bit more. Move out any discomfort in the shoulder, the neck. And Jessie, stop, baby. Stop it, stop it, stop it. No, driving me crazy. Driving me crazy. Well, he's very determined. Yes, get up. That's it. Putting wet spots all over my mat. Breathing now into the ribs. Perhaps all the way up into your shoulders. And as you exhale, just slowly releasing, coming out. And just seeing if we can cross those knees or stack those knees, sorry, one on top of the other. That may mean walking that left foot out a little bit more so you can really plant down. If you need the foot for a little bit of support, that's also okay, but this is where we aim to go. And we let the arms lift up so they come to shoulder height. And as we exhale, we're hugging over with the left arm coming on top of the right, and just hug yourself as you coil in. Tuck the chin in and take a breath. Breathe into the back heart. Release any tension through the breath in the neck and the shoulders, as well as the back heart space. Use an inhalation to lift up. Lift the elbows, guide them in line with your shoulders, and then see if you can bring the back of your hands together. And if you can make the back of the hands, see if you can bring the palms of the hands sort of together. Maybe it's fingers and palm. Give yourself a clap if you've got it. It's okay if you haven't got it. See if you can then just release your thumb, the back of the thumb, to your third eye, and just for a moment lean into the hands, and the hand presses back into the third eye. And focus all your attention here. Gently you can squeeze the forearms together as well. Take one more breath there. And use the exhalation to really slowly release the arms. And just place the hands on either foot or the floor beneath you. Keeping the eyes closed and your attention on the third eye, Ajna. Breathe into the body. And then you can just gently open the eyes. You're going to lean back, undo those legs and bring them to the other side. And again, this may be like a little tricky. Maybe on this side it's completely okay. Sometimes one side is easier than the other. I'm just going to take the support just because I can. It's nice. All right. So hands just reach out to either side. Find the length of the spine on the inhale. Inhale. And as we exhale, we take the left hand to the right thigh and the right hand behind us, turning our chin to look over that back right shoulder. And then take an inhale as you guide it across to the front shoulder. And then exhale, gliding it back to the back shoulder. Maybe a little deepening of the chest. Inhale. Forward. And exhale, guiding it back. Last round. Holding there. As you settle in, you can have a little play, maybe a little tuck of the chin for a breath or two. Maybe also drawing that ear back towards the back of the shoulder. Keep lengthening up through the spine. Keep deepening the twist or holding it in place. And then one more breath. And as you exhale, just releasing. Then taking that left foot across over the right side. And this may be easier or harder for you. See if you can walk that right foot a little bit further away so you can sit both sit bones down. If you need the support, then please take it. Or if you need to straighten that leg out, please do that. Otherwise, we're hugging the knee in with the arm. We're going to start squeezing the arm or hugging the arm in as we lengthen up through the spine from the tail to the crown. And then use that exhalation to turn to look behind us. Left hand behind us. Inhale as we come forward, taking the chin across to the front. And exhale as we take it back, seeing if we can just slightly deepen that twist. Inhale, forward. And exhale back. Last round. Exhale. A full breath there. And taking that last inhale and using the exhalation to unwind out of it. Taking the hand onto the ankle so you can draw that left foot towards the right hip. So we're just stacking the knees now. letting the arms float up on the inhalation. And as we exhale, then the right arm across on top of the left, coiling in as we exhale. And then inhale, riding up the spine, lifting the elbows so they're even to the shoulders, squeezing them together and bringing the back of the hands together. And if that's easy, then perhaps palms. And if you can, once again, dropping the thumb into the third eye area and just gently pressing them into each other as you squeeze the forearms together, if that's available to you. Last inhale here. And as you exhale, really slowly releasing those arms, letting them just sit on either side or on your feet. Couple of conscious breaths in. This cat never wants to sit on my lap when I'm in the lounge room. Okay, so I'm going to release the legs. You can give them a little bit of a straighten out and a little bit of a shake. Don't really have time for anything more, so you can choose. You might like to just stretch towards your toes, towards your feet. You can bend those knees as much as you need to in order to access that, and just take 1 to 3 rounds of deep breath, forward fold. And whenever you're done there, it's simply time for Shavasana. Would you like to have your bolster under your knees? You don't have to, you can just choose for yourself. Do you want a blanket over the top of you or something under your head? Or all of it? Let the feet be nice and apart. Don't let anything be pulling on it or pressing on your feet or your legs or your hands, arms. Let your body be completely free. The blanket is just lightly placed over the body. So there's no tightness anywhere. Begin to breathe into the body. Extend the exhalations so they're longer than the inhales. And really allow the body to completely relax. Come back to checking the features of your face. And then come back to the experience of your heart center. Let your whole body just rest. With an open awareness. If you're watching the video, you might like to stay and continue your Shavasana for another 5 minutes. You can do that if you're watching the video with me now, or if you'd like to join me and coming up, begin to deepen the breath. Breathing the breath all the way into and throughout the body. You might like to invite a little bit of movement through the ankles, the wrists, the fingers, the toes. Or if you're enjoying the stillness, then you can simply roll onto a comfortable uninjured side. And just take a breath there. And as you're ready, you can roll up if you're joining, and if you're not, that's absolutely fine. Stay where you are, if you would prefer. And then bringing our hands together into prayer. You might like to feel the thumbs just touching the back of the neck, and then the back of the thumbs touching the sternum. And just bowing the head so the very tips of your fingers can touch your mouth. And this is really beginning to thread the heart and our speech, our words. And words often initiate action. So usually we talk about something first and then we act upon that decision. So here we want the heart and the speech to align, but are very important in this day and age anyway, as division grows. Let's take a moment just to simply be in your own presence. Thank you. Namaste. I hope you can all take a look at some of your lifestyle choices and anything that you would like to begin to weave into your life that feels more in alignment with your passion, your purpose emerging from you. So we begin to segue into peace. Have a beautiful week.